You know what sounds fun right about now? Blowing up all my opponent's lands. Hello and welcome back, and today I am being as mean as I can possibly be. I don't want my opponents to have any lands at all, so I am playing some green-red land destruction in Premodern today. So this archetype is pretty well known. It's basically the Premodern version of Ponza. The whole game plan here is just prevent your opponent from doing anything either by directly blowing their lands up with Wasteland, Winter's Grasp, and Thermokarst, or denying them from being able to use their mana in the first place with Sphere of Resistance and Rishat Import. And then eventually just beat them down either with your creature lands of Mishra's Factory and Treetop Village, or having an absolutely massive Terravor between your own lands and all of your opponent's lands being in the graveyard. To be able to back this up and pump it out even quicker, we also have Oath of Druids in the deck, with the only target being Terravor. So if your opponent plays anything, and we have an Oath of Druids down, 99% of the time we're not going to have any creatures, so we're going to be able to benefit off of the Oath. And we're always going to hit a Terravor, and we're hopefully just going to mill a ton of cards before we hit this Terravor, so that ends up hitting the battlefield as like a 6/6 or a 12/12 or something absolutely huge. And then each time we trigger Oath to drop another Terravor, the original one's going to get even bigger. So that's the whole game plan here. Blow up our opponent's lands, grind them out of the game with our man lands or massive Terravors, and just stop our opponents from playing Magic to help back this up and buy us some time, because this is a control deck, so it's going to be slow. We do have 3 sweepers to take care of go-wide creature decks with Earthquake and Pyroclasm, or to be able to mop up Shroud creatures like our Argothian Enchantress out of Enchantress, and a couple of naturalizes just to be able to blow up problematic enchantments from our opponents. Again, out of the Enchantress deck, or there's just so many powerful enchantments in this format. It's good just to kind of have a catch-all. And then also being able to take out artifacts, such as opponent's Sphere of Resistance, opponent's Mox Diamonds, a Dreadnought, something like that that gets into play. For our sideboard, we basically just have a bunch of stuff to be able to stop our opponent from doing what they're doing if they manage to get enough mana under them. Full playset of Pyroblast to be able to hate on the blue decks, Curse Totems to shut down activated abilities from creatures, Tormod's Crypt to hate on the graveyard, the rest of the playset of Naturalize for all the artifact enchantment decks. And if we don't think Oath of Druids is going to get it done because we're up against a deck that has no creatures or very few creatures, we have 3 Call of the Herd just to be able to increase our creature count. And having Flashback is nice because it means we get to use it twice. Final card is a One of Fun of Zern Orb to be able to sacrifice our own lands for life up against burn style decks or anything that is going to try to kill us with direct damage that we're not going to be able to shut down via our Oath of Druids plan with Terravor. So this is red-green land destruction in Premodern. Let's see if we can just be the only ones playing Magic today. If you like this video, do me a favor, drop a like and a comment below, and be sure to sub to the channel to know when all of my content is going live. With that all being said, let's take this through 5 rounds, see if we can make our opponents miserable. I'll catch you all in the wrap-up. Alright, let's blow up some lands. Won the die roll, let's go. Alright, we've got turn 2 Sphere. Can't really do anything on turn 3, then start blowing up lands? I think we're going to keep this. Start out with the Treetop Village, get the tapped land out of the way. Alright, Windswept Heath from the opponent. We can just S6 through the turn, into a basic forest. Into a Miri's Guile. Okay. Well, let's try to slow them down a bit. Let's go ahead and play Mishra's Factory. Slam the Sphere. It doesn't mean that we're not blowing up lands until turn 3, but hopefully this sets them back enough that that won't matter. Let the Miri's Guile do its thing. Unfortunately, with this Miri's Guile, they will be able to start... Okay, so it's full-on Enchantress. Got it. So that is going to be a little bit more difficult to deal with this. They have 2 mana. What are they trying to do? 2 mana for a Wild Growth. We hit a Thermokarst, so, I mean, we're just going to go ahead and get in with our damage while we can. And next turn, we start blowing up lands and hoping that it restricts what they can do. Question is, do we want to try to restrict their green mana, or do we want to try to restrict their raw mana off of this Sarah's Sanctum? We'll see what they play. If they play another white source, I think we're going to go after their green. Argothian Enchantress. Okay. Well, that's something that we can use whatchamacallit off of. Earthquake's a way to kill it as well. I would say that's something that we can use to trigger Oath of Druids, but I think we're just going to play a mountain, try to cut them off of green, and then just spend the next few turns killing their lands while we make land drops. Because this actually shut them off of 3 mana, and they didn't play another land, so they might be mana screwed here. And we can't do anything, so we can just go ahead and Essex through the turn here. Alright, they have another land. They're probably going to go fetch green mana here. Do they have another wild growth? I think I'm going to keep still just cutting them off of green. That is their main color. And as long as we can keep them from playing more enchantments, the Serra Sanctum doesn't tap for more mana. Alright, opponent's not doing anything, so I think yet again we're going to go ahead and blow up the green land. We hit a Terravor. Well, let's play Wooded Foothills. Blow up their green land again. And pass the turn. Another forest. Well, guess what, opponent? We have another way to blow that up. And it looks like they're just passing the turn again. And I don't think we need to crack this Wooded Foothills yet, so we'll just hold on to it. Another Sphere of Resistance. That is interesting. Well, we're just going to keep blowing up your lands, opponent. And then I think next turn we're probably going to slam another Sphere of Resistance, followed up by a Terravor. Another land. And it looks like opponent is passing the turn again. Okay, well, let's make their stuff cost even more. We hit a Wooded Foothills. This is going to cost 3. So I think we are actually going to go fetch now, because this is going to allow us to attack with the Treetop Village as well. Grab a forest. Pay 3 for another Sphere of Resistance. I actually think I might be out of fetchables. Is there another forest in here? Opponent's going to fetch in response as well. No, I do have a 3rd forest. Good. Okay. And we will animate our dude. And we will swing in. And we'll pass the turn. I will say, I'm recording this right after they announced Parallax Tide was banned. And I saw some discourse about thinking that Enchantress is now going to be a damn near unbeatable deck because of it, and it's just going to be a menace of the format. So we'll see how we do it up against it right off of the bat. Alright, they do technically have 3 mana under them to be able to play a 1-drop here. And it looks like they are passing the turn. There's something to be said about taking out this Argothian Enchantress now, just so that we don't have to deal with them potentially drawing out of this. So I think we're going to go ahead, play Treetop Village. There's a part of me that wants to just hold on to this. So I think we will see what they do if we attack first. And we might be able to Earthquake them to finish off the game, but we will see here. They could Swords to Plowshare something here, which would be annoying, but not the end of the world. Okay, they are going to Swords. It gets rid of our redundant creature. Are they going to block with the Argothian Enchantress is the question. This also clears it out of the way for our Terravor, and that looks like a no on blocking with Enchantress. And we will just F6 through the turn from here. And opponent is playing a Wild Growth. Okay. Starting to get their mana under them a little bit. They get 1 card off of the Enchantress. We had another land destruction spell. We can just blow that up. And we don't super care. They're also tapped out here. We can hit them for 5. I don't hate Pyroclasm. I think we might just start out with Pyroclasm. Or we hit them for 5. They go to 4. 1, 2, 3. 1 more mana off of this Earthquake, and we can kind of go crazy. But I do kind of want to get rid of their draw engine, so I think we're just going to kill that, swing in for 2. This way, at least, they have to spend a turn getting another draw engine online. And if they just play another Argothian Enchantress, we can just Earthquake it. They do have 2, 3, 4, 5 mana this turn. Playing another Wild Growth. And they don't have enough mana after that to do anything. And they scoop it up. Okay, taking down game 1 up against Enchantress. I think we are bringing in Naturalizes. Not sure what else we would want to do here. Maybe we want to call the Herds in, and then just take out the Oath of Druids. Like, their main win con is going to be locking us out of the game, or turning everything on with Opalescence, and I think a single Terravor off of an Oath of Druids isn't going to be enough to deal with that. So, I think we just want to increase our total number of creatures we can have here. And then I think we might trim 1 Sylvan Library. I like the Sphere of Resistance is slowing our opponent down quite a bit, so let's try that. Alright, please ignore the record for that first game there. That was Me forgetting to reset it here, but this is a turn 1 Sphere of Resistance, so I think we're going to go ahead and keep this. I like some mana denial here, but we'll deal with it. Are we seeing another Mirror? Yes, we were seeing a repeat last game. Forest into Mirror's Guile. And we hit another Sphere of Resistance. Well, let's go ahead and cast Mox Diamond, pitch a Forest, play a Wooded Foothills, crack the Wooded Foothills, go grab another Forest, and slam a Sphere of Resistance. And in theory, we could Sphere of Resistance again next turn if we want to. And just hope that locks our opponent out from doing much as we continue to make land drops. I'd like it if we had more land drops already lined up. Alright, Wild Growth, they're getting their mana under them. Earthquake, that doesn't do a ton. So I think we're going to go ahead, grab a mountain here, and just slam another sphere and hope that we keep hitting land so we can actually do something while our opponent stumbles. They have selection, we don't. But luckily this isn't Sylvan Library, so they don't get to keep extra cards off of it. A Windswept Heath, so they are finding their lands. 4 mana for a Seal of Cleansing, okay. So they can kill a Sphere of Resistance. We can't do anything, so let's pass the turn. We're mildly locked under our own spheres at this point, which is a little annoying, but not the end of the world. They don't have a draw engine online at the moment, so they are hitting their lands, which is annoying, but it doesn't look like they got anything else going on right now. Well, we hit another land. We can play that. One more land and we can actually start playing our 3-drops. I think we're going to start off with Call of the Herd, because I'd rather that end up eating a Source of Plowshares than anything. 5 mana. What are they playing for 5 mana here? Some 3-drop. Playing a 6-drop for Parallax Wave. That deals with creatures? As long as we don't play creatures, that doesn't really affect us at all. We hit a Pyroclasm, so we'll pass the turn. We can at least cast that. Let all of their triggers resolve. If I just wait out this Parallax Wave, then it doesn't really matter. Opalescence. Okay. We can kill a few of their things here. We do have to deal with this Parallax Wave, but I think it still goes away on its own. However, they will be able to kill us with it before we are able to get out from under it. But this is going to have them resort to being in top deck mode. And I think because this hits everything, there is no timing that they can save everything. Alright, just blowing up my Mox Diamond, okay. And exiling their Mirror's Guile so they can get it back with the Parallax Wave. And exiling their... Wait, they can exile it to itself to get everything back? Okay, I did not realize that was an interaction that could happen. The wording on that is just so fucking weird to me. Alright, well, I guess we're going to try again and hope that we don't get locked under our own spheres this time. Alright, let's see what we got here. This honestly doesn't really do much. I think we're going to mulligan this. Okay, I like this a lot more. We will put back a redundant Rishadan Import, and then we will play a Carplucent Forest and pass the turn. A Forest from the opponent. Ooh, no Mirror's Guile this time. Okay. Well, we will play Rishadan Import, and we will go ahead and play a Sphere Resistance. And then we can just keep porting down lands while we make our land drops, play another Sphere of Resistance, and hopefully that keeps them out of the game. Second Forest. A Treetop Village. We can go ahead and play that tapped, get that out of the way. Or one of their forests in their upkeep. Wooded Foothills. We hit another Rishadan Import. So we can actually port down 2 of their lands in upkeep now. And we are going to... Whoops. Undo that. Port down a forest. Port down the other forest. And pass a turn. A Windswept Heath. We hit another Treetop Village. So we could play Treetop Village. Well, we can play an untapped land. Play another Sphere of Resistance. We're hitting our land drop, so we can still play under our Sphere of Resistance. So we're taxing their spells and porting down lands. So then we are going to port one of your lands in your upkeep. Our opponent is doing a very good job of hitting their land drops. They could kill a sphere here for 4 mana. But then we can go ahead and play a Wasteland, blow up this Brushland into a Argothian Enchantress. Okay. That's fine. Our plan is basically just to keep them from being able to actually play anything after this. We actually could blow up 2 lands here, but I think we're just going to keep porting their stuff. Then we will pass the turn. We will port your white source, port one of your green sources, and ship the turn. They're doing a very good job of still hitting their land drops. They could play a 1-drop here. We hit a Mox Diamond. That doesn't really do anything. Play a Treetop Village. Pass the turn. And then just kind of keep going back to the port their stuff plan. I'm very impressed with how well our opponent is able to just continually keep hitting land drops with absolutely no selection. 4 mana. Sacred Ground. What is this? Whenever a spell or ability opponent controls calls land to put in the graveyard, return that card to the battlefield? Okay. Interesting. Well, that kind of shuts down that angle I was trying to go on. I guess... Do we give them a turn with their lands? I think we have to. I don't like it, but I think we have to transition into the beatdown route now. Into a Parallax Wave. Okay. Alright, I think this one slipped away. I need to look up how many lands Enchantress actually has, because I feel like them being able to grab that many lands after us restricting their mana that much is kind of insane. That's an Earthquake. Well, let's get in for combat. See if they want to remove the elephant. They are going to remove the elephant, and then we will blow up their Enchantress. Get their card draw engine off at least, and then we will port down one of their planes. And ship the turn. Alright, they have another card draw effect in. And a Serra's Sanctum. Yeah, I think this one slipped away, unfortunately. I mean, our opponent still has to present a way to actually win here. But we will port down the Serra's Sanctum, port down another white source, just trying to keep them off of white. And then once this Parallax Wave is gone, we can start trying to swing in. There's the Opalescence. They can now protect their Parallax Wave. Yeah, I'm not going to bother fighting through this here. We'll just scoop it up. A little unfortunate, but it is what it is. On to the next one. Most What do we have here? This isn't bad. I think we'll go ahead and keep this. Turn to Sylvan Library or to Sphere of Resistance into Sylvan Library, vice versa. We have our land drops. We'll see what our opponent's doing, and we'll go from there. Forbidden Cave. Interesting. Okay. Doesn't really tell us much of anything yet. See what we draw. We hit a Rishadan Import. I will play Wooded Foothills and pass. Dust Bowl. Lightning Rift. Whenever a player cycles a card, you may pay 1. If you do, deals 2 and... Okay. So they're a cycling burn deck? We could just blow that up right now. I think we're going to drop Sphere of Resistance first. We have our land drops to be able to play all this other stuff here. If they start cycling cards, we can always just blow up the Lightning Rift. Alright, an opponent played a Tap Secluded Step. Okay. So, depending on what we want to do here, we could just go ahead and play a Rishadan Import, start tapping them out of stuff. I think we might just do that. I'll hold off from the Sylvan Library. We don't need to drop it yet. I think we're going to cut them off of red mana here. We're going to go after the red. Alright, so this is a cycling burn deck. Okay, we can blow up the Rift at a later date. We have no actual need to kill it now. If they're just going to keep tapping out to do shit like this, I'm actually kind of okay with it. We can still keep hitting our land drops. We had another Rishadan Import, so we'll play that, pass the turn. And then we will tap them out of red. If they need to cycle an upkeep, it stops them from really doing anything for the turn. And we will tap one of their white sources, and then pass the turn. And they're passing the turn, okay. We hit a Pyroclasm. We can play a Wooded Foothills. We can blow up their Lightning Rift and port something down. Or we can play Sylvan Library and port something down. I think we're going to take this as a chance to get down Sylvan Library. And then we will port down their red source again in their upkeep. Let's go grab another red source just to round that out at the moment. So they can't Dust Bowl us off of red. Not that we super need it at the moment. Cycling a Spark Spray. Okay. Again, we can take this damage for right now. That's not a huge deal. We still have our Naturalize to be able to kill this. And opponent is missing land drops. Oh, he might actually just blow up their red source so we don't have to deal with it anymore. We'll use this ability. Ooh, and a Wasteland, too. I think we're going to put that on top, put that on top, play Wasteland, take out the Forbidden Cave. I think now we're just going to start kind of going after their stuff here. They're clearly missing land drops. And now we start going for the Jugular here. 2 mana to cycle a Eternal Dragon, but they can't burn us because they don't have any mana up. And our Terravor is starting to get big. Alright, opponent found another land. That's fine. Because we are going to be able to port and blow up a land. Let's put back Forest, put back Treetop Village, play a Mishra's Factory, blow up their basic, and then we were going to port down their other land. Alright, yeah, they can cycle again. I did not realize Renewed Faith was a reprint, but okay. Like I said, I'm still not super worried about this Lightning Rift. We're at 10. And then next turn we can naturalize port, and then we will port down your white source. Alright, opponent found a new red source, that's fine. See what we get off of our library. A bunch of lands, so we'll just kind of put a bunch of these back for right now. We will play this, we will naturalize this bad boy, and then I can port down 2 lands. And then next turn, I think we drop the Terravor. We are going to go ahead and just port down both your colored sources. Ship the turn. We're going to have a 6/6 Terravor, which will close out the game pretty fast. Battlefield Forge, okay. See what we get off of our library. A Sylvan Library and a Treetop Village. Put that on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need the untapped mana to port down 2 things. Play Forest. Play a 6/6 Terravor. And then we will port down the 2 lands that don't deal any damage to them. Okay, Source of Plowshares. That actually gives us quite a bit of life back, so I'm okay with that. And we've still got a manland and another manland coming. And then we will tap down the step. Okay. Is this returning an Eternal Dragon? No, they need 5. They're going to sacrifice their own land to kill my other Rashad import. Okay. That's actually fine. Alright, let's see what we get off of our Sylvan Library this time. A Sylvan Library and a Winter's Grasp. We will put this on top of a library. We will pay the extra to keep this. We will play a Treetop Village. We will blow up your red source. And we will ship the turn. Tap down their white source and upkeep. Alright, opponent's finally missing land drops again. So we can actually get in with multiple things here. See what we get off of the Sylvan Library trigger. Wasteland and a Mox Diamond. We can put that on top. Put the Mox Diamond on top. Play the Wasteland. Blow up your colored source. Activate the Treetop Village. Activate Mishra's Factory. Start closing out the game. And port down your Dust Bowl. And then in upkeep, tap down the Dust Bowl. Make so they can't cast anything this turn, and opponent scoops it up. Okay, we got there. Against what our opponent's doing, bring in more naturalizes. All we really saw was their cycler thing, so I'm not really even super sure what I want to bring in here, besides additional naturalizes. We didn't see any creatures, so we can take out the Pyroclasms. We could probably bring in a Tormod's Crypt. Well, actually, since they have cycling creatures, we could bring in Curse Totem so that they can't actually get their dragons back from the graveyard or cycle them. I'm not 100% sure if this works in hand too. Cycling is an active ability, but they're technically not creatures till they're on the battlefield. We also could just grab these and bring in Tormod's Crypts instead so that we can nuke them out of the graveyard so they can't get a loop going. I'm actually very confused about what our opponent is doing. I'm tempted to take out the Oath of Druids just because I don't think they have creatures, and if we do that, we can bring in the last Tormod's Crypt, the 2 Curse Totems, and maybe we just bring in a Zurin Orb just to try to or actually, we don't even need to bring in the Zurin Orb. I think we're going to try this. If it goes to game 3, we will adjust accordingly. Okay, I like this. This is a turn 1 Sylvan Library or an active Rishit import. We'll see what they do here. Opponent went to 6. Battlefield Forge. No response. See what we draw here. We draw a Forest. So I think what I actually want to do here is we're going to go ahead and Wasteland this Battlefield Forge. Cycling a Forgotten Cave in response. That's fine. That deals some damage to them. And then we will play... I think we're just going to hold off from slamming this Mox Diamond at the moment. It doesn't really do anything for us here, and it gives us more information if we wait. A Forgotten Cave tapped. Okay. We draw a Naturalize. Well, we will play a port, play a Mox Diamond, pitch the other port, and because we have Naturalize, we're going to take this turn to drop Sylvan Library, start getting our own selection going. And next turn we can Winter's Grasp, or we can Naturalize. We can see what's going on and make our plan from there. Basic Plains. Seal of Cleansing. Okay. If they're taking a turn off to deal with that, I'm actually kind of okay with it. I think we're going to take out their basic here. Like, we'll probably just Winter's Grasp, kill that. Oh, they took out our Mox Diamond. Okay. Well, we have another one. We can be a little liberal with our life total here. Yeah, we're just going to keep everything, because I actually want all of this. And we are going to go ahead and play a Forest, cast Mox Diamond, chuck Karplusan Forest, and I think we are going to Winter's Grasp the white source here. Another basic white source. Another Seal of Cleansing? No. Lightning Rift. We have an answer for that, and we can kill that and hold up a port. Another Naturalize. Okay. We don't need that at the moment. We can put this back, put this back, and we can actually play Wasteland, take out their Forgotten Cave, and then Naturalize this Lightning Rift. And then we can ship the turn. And opponent is missing land drops. I like that. We knew about the Karplusan Forest. A Naturalize and a Mishra's Factory. Let's put back the Forest. Put back the Naturalize for right now. Play Mishra's Factory. And drop a Curse Scroll. And then we will port down their land and upkeep. And we will port down your land. And then ship the turn. Alright, another basic. We do know that they have Swords to Plowshare, so something to take into consideration. We will use this. I like the port. We can put back Naturalize, put back Karplusan Forest, play a port, pass the turn, port down both of their lands, and then ship the turn. And opponent scoops it up! Okay, got a win on the board. On to the next round, the die roll. Alright, what do we got here? We got a Sphere of Resistance, but not really much else going on. I think we got to ship this one. Okay, I like this. This is turn 1 Sphere of Resistance, turn 2 Sylvan Library. Assuming we hit a land, I think we're going to bin a redundant Sphere of Resistance. We might also just turn 1 Sylvan Library. Red from the opponent. Okay, so this is Sligh. So Sphere is going to be okay against them. I should have kept that other hand with all of the whatchamacallit, removal. But we're going to start out with a Mox Diamond, chuck the Wasteland. I don't think that's realistically doing anything. I think we are going to go ahead and start out with Sylvan Library, because we need to be able to find a sweeper. Bloodstained Mire cracks it into a Mog Fanatic. The nice part is if we end up getting a Terravor on the battlefield, they're going to have a very hard time dealing with it. Rishadan Port, okay. See what we find off of it. Another Sphere and a Forest. Let's put the Sphere on top, put the Forest on top. Do I want to start trying to restrict their mana while I search for stuff to do here? Probably. Let's play a Rishadan Port. They want to blow up a land to start taxing their stuff. I think taxing their stuff is more important at this point. We know our next few land drops are guaranteed. So, I think we're just going to pass the turn. 2 mana for another Mog Fanatic. Okay. Taking our Schwacks for now while we wait to try to find a sweeper. We knew that the Forest was coming. A Thermokarst and a Sphere of Resistance. Let's put the Sphere back. Let's put the Thermokarst back for right now. I don't think that's what we're looking for. Play a Wooded Foothills. Kill one of their lands for now. Forgot I have to shuffle first. Go grab another green source. Actually, we're going to grab a red here now that I think about it. Hopefully stem the bleeding and shuffle the library around so that we can find one of our Pyroclasms or an Earthquake. An opponent is missing land drops, so that's good. We're at a virtual 8 at the moment. Wasteland doesn't do anything. Okay, there's a Pyroclasm. Put on top. Put on top. Play a Forest. Pyroclasm the board away. And then we can start porting down their land so that they can't do anything. While we try to figure out how to get out of this. We know 2 cards on top are both lands. And then let's go ahead and port your land. Ship the turn. Floating mana. Still missing land drops. We knew about this forest. Oath of Druids Wasteland. Well, we'll put these back. We will play Oath of Druids, disincentivize them from playing any creatures the rest of the game. Port your land. And opponent's not doing anything. We knew about this Wasteland coming. Another Sylvan Library. Let's put Library back. Forest back. Play a Wasteland. And now we're kind of just in this holding pattern. And opponent is just passing the turn. Going to discard. Chucking a Goblin Patrol. A Mox Diamond and a Sylvan Library. Well, we'll put those both back. Ship the turn. Port your land. And then pass the turn. An opponent seems to be trying to time us out by the look of it here. Either that or their entire hand is literally uncastable. Put back Diamond, put back Karplusan Forest, play the Wooded Foothills so that I can shuffle, and ship the turn. Port your land. And opponent is just F6ing through the turn. We will shuffle our library, grab our last forest, and opponent bin to Grim Lavamancer, another Oath of Druids, Oath back, Thermokarst your only land, ship the turn. Ooh, opponent found a new land. We know there's 2 Oaths. A Rishadan Port, we can put back Oath, play port, ship the turn, port the opponent in upkeep, ship the turn. And opponent's going back to discard, getting rid of a Curse Scroll. We hit a Mox Diamond and 2 Oaths. Put the Oath back, ship the turn, port your land, ship the turn. I think our opponent is trying to time us out here. They're just F6ing through their entire turns. Like, the way that skipped all the way to cleanup, they're not even waiting to see what they draw. Get our library trigger. Okay, there's a way to close the game out. And at this point, I'm willing to let them get a Oath trigger because it's not going to matter. I guess I control this Oath trigger? Oh, I have to put it on the stack and then they choose the target. Okay. And we are going to tap down your land while we can. And then we will F6 through the turn. They got a Jackal Pup. Okay. Let's say our Terravore is going to be demonstrably bigger than anything else that they can get. So I am A-okay with them getting a trigger off of the Oath. And then put back the 2 Oaths. Play the Treetop Village. Get in with Terravore. Start trying to close this game out. Port down your land. Alright, opponent is going to get in with the Jackal Pup. That's fine. Get our Oath trigger. We'll keep the Naturalize, I guess. Go to combat. Attack in. Put them to 3. Ship the turn. Port their land. And then I can animate Treetop Village, block their Jackal Pup so they die. Alright, opponent is going to fetch with their Bloodstained Mire. Grab another mountain. And opponent scoops it up. Okay, didn't even try to see if I saw the line there. Up against what our opponent's doing. Call of the Herd in. Curse Totem in. Zurin Orb in. What would I want to take out? Actually, I think I'm going to take the Call of the Herds out. They have so many creatures, our Oath plan is actually pretty decent here. I want to keep my Sweepers in. I think I can take out the Naturalizes. They probably have, like, Sulfuric Vortex or Pyrostatic Pillar or something, but I don't think it's a huge thing. Curse Totems are specifically for Grim Lavamancer. And I think we're going to get rid of 1 Wasteland. They're almost entirely basics. I'm sure they have Barbarian Ring, but it's probably not that good. So let's try that. Alright, we have a turn 1 Oath of Druids. Yeah, I'll keep this. Down from the opponent. Into a Jackal Pup. Okay, that's fine. We will play Wooded Foothills. Crack Wooded Foothills for a green. Play Oath of Druids. Or play Mox Time. I think we're going to chuck the Karplusan Forest here. And play Oath of Druids. Into a Grim Lavamancer. Okay. Well, we're probably just going to wipe the board here into a lightning bolt. Okay, so they do have direct burn in the deck as well. But I think we're probably just going to wipe the board here after we get our creature, which is already a 7/7. Another Oath of Druids, play Treetop Village. Let's just wipe the board up here and ship the turn. You can get a creature, that's fine. Mine are still going to be bigger. They lost a Seal of Fire to finding their Jackal Pup, that's fine. We have a Rishon Import. Let's go ahead and blow up one of their lands here. Just make our Terravor a little bit bigger. Incinerate, dealing 3 to me. Okay, that's fine. Red 11, they have 2 cards in hand. I think we're safe to attack with this Terravor. Opponent's getting in with the Jackal Pup. Okay. We theoretically have lethal on board here. They would need... Basically, they would need double Lightning Bolt into... Or opponent just scoops up. I was going to say double Lightning Bolt into Fire Blast, but opponent just scoops up. So, alright. Taking down Sligh. On to the next one. The die roll. This is a turn 2 Oath, turn 3 Sphere, but not really anything else going on here. If they're a creature deck, this could be very good, but do I think a turn 2 Oath is enough? I think we're going to give it a shot here, see what happens. I'd like to still hit more lands. We'll play a forest, pass the turn. Island from the opponent into a portent. So I don't think these Oath of Druids are going to be particularly good. This looks like it's probably some kind of control deck. Spheres will be pretty good for slowing them down. But I need to make sure that I keep hitting lands for them to be any good. I like just runner land off of the top so I can Sphere into Thermokarst. I mean, that is a land. One more land and we can keep this going? Or if they daze the first one, I'm kind of okay with that as well. Well, the Sphere resolved. City of Brass. Okay, so maybe they're actually a combo deck. But who knows? The mana in this format is so bad, you never truly know. That is another land. So we will Mishra's Factory, Sphere number 2, and then we will start taking them off of mana. Shivan Reef. Okay. I think there's another Thermokarst. So because of the fact that I want them to hurt themselves here, I am going to go ahead and just blow up the island. Oh, this costs 5, not 4. Never mind. Let's play an Oath of Druids. If we hit another land, then we can start Thermokarsting. This is going to disincentivize them from playing creatures. At worst case scenario, we can just start turning these Mishra's Factories on and turning them sideways. I am thinking this is some sort of combo based off of this color spread here. So I don't think these Oath of Druids are going to do a whole ton. But we will play Sylvan Library, start seeing if we can get some selection going on. Gemstone Mine, yeah, this is 100% some sort of combo. Alright, opponent tried to pay for something and then passed the turn. So I'm guessing they have a 6 mana play, didn't realize they're being double taxed here. And since it seems like our opponent's on some kind of combo, I think we're relatively safe to keep extra cards. We will keep all of these for now. We will play a Rishon Import, and we're going to just start blowing up lands. I just want to get these out of the way so we get some live draws in. And since we have another Thermokarst, we can keep just blowing up their lands. And we have a port, so if we keep hitting land drops, we can blow up lands and port them. And we can't actually shut them off of any colors, so it's kind of just picking whatever lands we want here. Probably blow up the Gemstone Mine, because it's their only non-painful mana source. Paying 3 mana for a portent. Decided to shuffle their own deck. Alright, and they're missing land drops, so I'm actually super okay with that. We hit some lands and a Naturalize. I think we'll put the Naturalize back and one of the lands back. Play a forest, blow up their non-painful mana source, and ship the turn. I think we're soon going to start turning these Rishon Imports sideways, or these Mishra's Factory sideways, and start porting them off of random shit. An opponent's going to discard. Let's see if we can get any more information from our opponent's deck here. Oh, they're Slivers. Okay. That explains why they don't want to play any creatures. A Winter's Grasp and a Naturalize. I think we are going to go ahead and... I can port and blow up a land if I keep one of these. Because it'd be 5 plus hold port up. I think we are going to do that. It's a little painful. But let's take out... Again, we can't keep them off of any color. Let's start going after their blue mana. And then we are going to port their City of Brass, and that is kind of our win con at the moment. And we port the City of Brass to deal some damage to them. And then ship the turn. Battlefield Forge. Okay. We have a Naturalize. We do not care about that at all. A Treetop Village and a Terravor. Well, we'll put the Terravor back, play the Treetop Village. Whoops. We are going to turn on our Mishra's Factories and start getting these bad boys to turn sideways. Attack with everything. Start closing this game out. Ooh, they have a removal spell? They do. Okay, they get a Lightning Bolt out of hand. Take 2. Move to end step. Port down your City of Brass. And ship the turn. Plays another City of Brass. Okay. Oh, we're seeing something from the opponent here. They are playing a Crystalline Sliver. Okay, well, we know the top card of our deck is a Terravor, so now we get it for free. And it is a 5/5. And yes, we'll see what we get. We hit a Mountain and a Mox Diamond. We can put all of this back. And then we will play the Mountain. What can we do here? We can do... This will cost 4, so that's those 4. And we can still port them? Okay. Tap, 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 and tap. Play another Sphere of Resistance. Activate Mishra's Factory. Get in with everything. See if they want to trade off this Crystalline Sliver. They do. Okay. And then we will port down one of their cities. And we are going to tap down the city before they see what they get. Just in case it has an activated ability, it gives them less mana to do anything with it. Paying white mana. Do they have a Swords to Plowshares to take this Terravor? If they do, it taps them out for the turn. And a Blade Sliver. All Slivers get +1/+0. And they're doing something else here. A Swords to Plowshares. Okay, that gives me a bunch of life, and I get another Terravor now. And now our Terravor is a 9/9. We hit a Winter's Grasp. See what else we draw. A Rishadan Port and a Mox Diamond. Well, let's put the Mox Diamond back. We're actually going to put the Winter's Grasp back. Play another Rishadan Port. Offer this trade up. See if they want to. And they are willing to trade here. They take 1. We pass the turn. Terravor's a 10/10. In their upkeep, we're going to port down both of their City of Brasses. And then we can ship the turn. If they have another Swords to Plowshares, we get a whole ton of life off of this Terravor. And we are down 1 Terravor, 2 Terravors. There's still 2 left in the deck. And they get a Plated Sliver. All Slivers get +0/+1. Another Swords to Plowshares, up to 25. So it has some life to work with now. Oath of Druids. I guess we're going to grab another Terravor. This one's a 13/13. See what we get off of here. A Foothills, a Wooded Mishra's Factory, and a Wasteland. Well, we'll keep this. Play Wasteland. We will take out their... Again, it doesn't super matter. Let's restrict their blue a bit. Try to make sure that they can't give their stuff flying. End the turn. And then we will, yet again, port down their City of Brasses. Just slowly shocking them every single turn. Not even bothering to float the mana this time. So I do not think that they have another Swords to Plowshares. And they scoop it up. Okay. So against what our opponent's doing here... I'm tempted to bring in Pyroblast to try to shut off their blue slivers that give everything Shroud. Beyond that, I'm not super sure. Maybe Curse Totem. We did see they had a sliver that creates, or that has activated abilities. I want to keep all my sweepers in. I don't think Naturalize is going to be good. Pyroblast has some applications. I think that's really the only thing we want to do here. I think we might trim 2 Severe Resistances and try that. Okay, we've got quick mana disruption. Hopefully this will buy us time to be able to get into the game, so we're going to go ahead and keep this. City of Brass. Okay. Well, we're just going to start off with a Wasteland. Another City of Brass. We hit a Treetop Village, so we'll play Treetop Village and play Wasteland. Or, not Wasteland. Play Mox Diamond, and we'll ship one of these Kerplucent Forests. Ooh, do they have a counterspell? Is this an annul? It is an annul. Okay. They have a chance to drop a 2-drop now if they have one. Case of Koilos. They are not dropping a 2-drop at the moment. Okay. So that means they have a 3-drop they want to play. We have another Mox Diamond. I guess we're going to try to run this back, because if we can play Thermokarst, we'd rather play that and hang on to this Wasteland. Alright, that resolved. So I think we're going to take out the Caves of Koilos here. And then we have a Wasteland for the City of Brass or any other card they play. And then we just need to find some more disruption. We do have a win con on board already. Alright, opponent is tapping for white mana into Daragaz's Cave. Okay. So they can still play a 2-drop this turn. Into a Talon Sliver. All Slivers have first strike. Okay. Well, that's actually kind of okay. Because we can go ahead and Wasteland this cave, turn on our Treetop Village, and get in for 3. Replay City of Brass. We hit a Wooded Foothills. We will go ahead and play Rashad Import, pass the turn, and we will port their City of Brass in the upkeep. And then next turn, we can still do this and activate Treetop Village. As long as they don't play any other Slivers, our clock is faster than theirs at the moment. And opponent appears to be missing land drops. Okay, I like that. Opponent is indeed missing land drops. Ooh, we had a Sylvan Library. I like that quite a bit. We will activate our Treetop Village. I accidentally clicked through my main phase. Move to declare attackers. Get in. And then we will play a Karplusan Forest. Pass the turn. Tap down their city in upkeep. They can F6 through the turn here. That's fine. And taking out Slivers. On to the next one. On around, 1 the die roll. Let's go. Alright, this isn't bad. I think we're going to go ahead and keep this. This is a turn 2 Terravor. Start out with the Treetop Village. Play Mox Diamond. Pitch the Karplusan Forest. Pass the turn. We have creature removal. We have manlands. Like I said, we do have a turn 2 Terravor. But it's only a 1-1 at the moment. Bloodstained Mire. At least it'll be a 2-2 now. Into a mountain. Into a Mog Fanatic. So this looks like it's probably Sligh again. We hit a Pyroclasm. I don't hate that. We are just going to run this out. It is going to grow over time. Another mountain from the opponent. Mismatch mountains. Come on, opponent. Lightning Bolt on the Terravor. Okay. Like I said, if they overextend, I have multiple ways to punish that. And we hit a Thermokarst. Okay, well, we are going to blow up their untapped land for the sake of growing our future Terravor. And they didn't do anything with the mana, so I'm okay with that. I would like a fetch land to be able to play this other Terravor outside of Lightning Bolt range. Another mountain. Into a Pyrostatic Pillar. Okay. Another Winter's Grasp. Well, this is going to hurt, but it will grow our Terravor outside of Lightning Bolt range. A Mishra's Factory. Into another Mog Fanatic. Okay. Another Thermokarst. I think we're going to run out the Terravor here. And if all they do is activate this Mishra's Factory and then swing out trying to kill this Terravor by sacrificing their Mog Fanatics, I will absolutely take that. Because it will wipe the board up entirely. Pyrostatic Pillar number 2. Okay. Getting in with both Mog Fanatics. Okay. Well, this is a free block on one of them. Like, I'm taking 2 damage here either way, but it gets a creature off the board, which I'm super okay with. I would not hate a Wasteland. We could Pyrostatic Pillar one of these if we wanted to. Or we can make our dude bigger at the cost of 4 life, which I think is worth it at this point. And now we just sit back on this Terravor for a little bit. A Bloodstained Mire from the opponent. Into another mountain. Into a Price of Progress. Okay. It means I am not casting anything else for the rest of the game. Which is fine. I can just rely on my lands to get the job done, I think. Unless they find a Lightning Bolt. Sylvan Library. Well, let's start getting some damage in. This actually should be lethal, because this is going to be 9 trample, and they only have 1 blocker. So this should still be lethal right here. Attack with everything? Do we squeak game 1 out against Burn? Yeah, go ahead. It's got trample. This is exactly 9 trample damage. Alright, took game 1 up against Burn. So against what our opponent's doing here, we definitely want Zurin Orbs. Apparently they're pretty hard on the Pyrostatic Pillar plan. We could also Curse Totem, which I think isn't a bad idea here. They're going to be on mostly basics. We did see that they have, whatchamacallit, Mishra's Factory. So we'll keep one Wasteland in, but we have so many other spells to kill those. I don't think it super matters. I think we're going to try this and see how it goes. Alright, we have a turn 2 Oath of Druids into a turn 2 or turn 3 Sphere Resistance. I think we're going to keep this. Mount from the opponent into a Mog Fanatic. Well, we will start out with the Treetop Village and pass a turn. Bloodstained Mire from the opponent into a Jackal Pup. Okay. Getting it with the Mog Fanatic, that's fine. We hit a Curse Totem. Well, we will play our Forest and play our Oath of Druids and see if an army of Terravores will get it done. And we can ship the turn. Opponent can do whatever they want. Wood of Foothills into a Grim Lavamancer. Curse Totem's going to be very good against that. And let's see how big our Terravore is. Already a 7/7. I like that quite a bit. We draw Sylvan Library. Play Corplucent Forest. We could blow up a land here. We could just play a second Terravore. And that might actually, honestly, just do it. But I think we are going to start off with a Curse Totem, shut down their Mog Fanatic, shut down their Grim Lavamancer. They still could very well burn us out of this game if they want to, but we are going to have very large Trampling Terravores very quickly here. And a red deck is going to have a very hard time getting rid of a 7/7. That's just going to grow. And opponent turned into an 8/8, cracking their Bloodstained Mire. Into a 9/9, cracking the Wood of Foothills. 3 mana for a Ball Lightning. Okay, that's fine. Getting it with everything. If we take the hit from, or if we block the Jackal Pup, that deals 9 to them, and then they're just dead, I will gladly take that. Because we'll take 8, go to 8, and then they don't have enough to double Pyroblast us, and they're just dead on board. They should not have attacked with that Jackal Pup. And opponent agrees they're dead on board. Okay, I like it. I'll get my thoughts together, address it in the wrap-up. That was a ton of fun, and I will admit I made some mistakes at the beginning. Getting locked under my own Sphere Resistance a few times kind of made me adjust how I was playing the deck, and managed to pull it out there at the end and actually post up a positive record, but the deck is a ton of fun. It reminds me why I absolutely love prison-style strategies, and just denying your opponents from being able to play Magic at all, and blowing up lands is one of my favorite ways to do that. That said, the deck did feel really threat light, honestly. I know we've got Matrix Factories and Treetop Villages to back up the Terravores, but a lot of the times I was finding myself wishing I had more threats to be able to close out the game, especially up against like white-based removal decks that were getting rid of my creatures with Swords to Plowshares. But we were able to grind those opponents out and manage to close those games out. The other thing I will say that kind of surprised me is just how mana heavy the Premodern format is. I'm still relatively new to the format. I haven't done a ton of digging into deck lists to see exactly how these mana bases are created. But you saw multiple times that opponents, even after being Wastelanded, Winter's Grasp, and ported multiple times, were able to eventually just get enough lands under them to be able to continue to function while we tried to close out the game. So maybe it's just a quirk of Premodern, and I'm still just so used to how slim and greedy Legacy mana bases are, but it really surprised me how well decks were able to play around the land destruction strategy. That said, I will admit, I think if you want to play land destruction, you're probably better off playing the true Terrageddon deck, which is using white instead of red for things like Armageddon and Cataclysm, to be able to wipe out multiple lands at once. So, while I think this is a fun take on it, and the red was really nice to be able to mop up the board or be able to get a little bit of extra damage through with Earthquake, I do think if you want to play land destruction, you probably want to go white and play the traditional Terrageddon deck, which is definitely something I'm going to try in the future. But overall, other than that, I don't have a ton of comments on the deck. As I said, it was a ton of fun. It worked really well. It led to some incredibly grindy games and really scratched the itch I was looking for in a prison-style deck. So I'm going to give this one a thumbs up. This was a ton of fun to play. So that was Red-Green Land Destruction in Premodern. I hope you all had as much fun watching as I did playing. I will catch you all in the next video. And as always, stay salty. Play any of the decks you see on this channel with a Mana Traders rental subscription. With a variety of tiers to fit any budget, Mana Traders lets you play whatever you want in whatever format you want. Use code DasSourKraut at checkout and become a better player today. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you like what you saw. If you did, do me a favor, hit that like and sub button below. There are free ways to support the channel. And drop a comment, let me know what you like. Any kind of feedback you got, your opinions on my gameplay, the decks that I play, any of that kind of stuff. If you really like what you see, go ahead and drop by the Patreon. Become a patron, get to read some of my tournament reports and some stuff going on outside of just Magic in my life that I'm going to start putting over there as kind of my own personal blog. Also, you can do donation deck lists over there, just the price of a league if you have a specific deck you want to see, or you have an idea you want me to brew around, something like that, go ahead and do that. Nothing is required. It's always appreciated, though. Any donations go directly back into the channel, covering stuff such as leagues for donation decks or the rental program that I'm a part of. I am a small-time YouTuber. I'm doing this for fun. I really hope you all like what you saw. I truly appreciate you all stopping by. I will catch you all in the next video, and as always, stay salty.